Today on the Philly Talk podcast, we discuss the fact that the Eagles will be interviewing Vance Joseph, former DC for the Arizona Cardinals, possible new DC for the Philadelphia Eagles. We also discuss Jonathan Gannon's comments as it pertains to the Super Bowl. It might make you sick to your stomach. And last but not least, the NFL wants to get rid of the push QB sneak because of us.
This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike. Talking sixes in the bird gang, that's I like. Competition, we ain't scared, yeah, that's what we like. Win or lose, you know we showing up and we gon' fight. You see we strive for the sky every day that go by. And every single week we screaming fly, Eagles fly. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah. This is Philly Talk with Philly Mike, yeah.
What is going on, everybody? I go by Philly Mike, and this is the Philly Talk podcast. And today we got some things to talk about. But before we do that, Eagle Nation, help your boy and hit that like button because everybody hates us. Subscribe, ding the bell so you know when we go live or drop videos. And we also do YouTube Shorts. Make sure you enable it and have notifications on for that. Let's get into it. So the NFL wants to get rid of the push quarterback sneak. Now, they don't call it the push quarterback sneak. They call it the tush push because the guy behind Jalen Hurts starts pushing him right there, but it finishes around the back and shoulders. Here's my thing. Any quarterback sneak that's ever been done, the guy behind the quarterback, he's not right behind the quarterback like we set it up with Dallas Goedert and whoever else is pushing, but they always come up from the running back position, from the tight end position, and they come up and push anyways. But we just start with the push and the lunge. They really want to change it up because they hate how successful. Well, guess what? Any other team can do it. You got to be strong to do that, though. I don't care who's pushing your quarterback. If your quarterback and your O-line ain't doing the initial push, no one guy behind a guy is going to stop a D-line and linebackers behind a D-line. So it's a total team effort. The push-tush. We got to stop it. Listen to Dan Blandino's exact words. The NFL wants to showcase athleticism and skills of our athletes. This is just not a skillful play. It's not an aesthetically pleasing play. This is what I have to say. What's the difference from a 1-yard run? What's the difference from a regular quarterback sneak? And are they talking about regular quarterback sneaks? Because they literally say tush push. I put it as the push quarterback because I'm not going to keep saying tush push, although now I've said it a bunch of times. What are we doing here? It's not athleticism. It's using strength. That's athleticism. It's not using skill. Yeah, it's timing of 11 guys moving at once, or at least the quarterback, O-line, everything. It takes symmetry. It's not a skillful. It's not a 50-yard bomb. So why do we have running backs? Heck, why do we have offensive linemen? If you are nervous about a quarterback bullying defensive linemen, well then let's play flag football. Flag football. Every play got to be 20 yards. You can't throw the ball anything under than 5 yards. What are we doing here? What are we doing here? The Eagles are successful with something, and we got to stop it. Oh, my goodness. What is going on here? Now, I got to talk about Jonathan Gannon because, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy, oh, boy. When I heard this, I almost threw up. Jonathan Gannon saying he learned from the Super Bowl loss, and he knows what he would have done to win makes me sick. Makes me sick. He literally said that he learned from it. Cool. You could finish with that statement. You learned from it. You grew from it. But to say that after watching the tape, after seeing how bad you did, you learned what you would do differently to win? You're 4 or 5 days late. Oh, but the tape helped me. No, bro, you've been the same versus good quarterbacks your whole life. You could say I learned from it. You could say I'm going to benefit from having that experience. You can say whatever you want. Don't say you now know what it took to win. You're lying. You're trying to sound cool for your new Bird Gang team, bro. Stop calling them Bird Gang. Stop talking about we're gonna do what you want, you over there. But my goodness, he said a lot of crazy things. Shout out to the people who sent them to my DMs on IG, on Twitter. Um, he said a lot of things, but that got me the most. That got me the most. And the crazy thing is, Howie Roseman pretty much left him in Arizona. He didn't know he was interviewing for the Cardinals until after the Super Bowl loss. Then Howie told him, stay in Arizona and interview, and he never came back to Philly. Good. Good. Now let's talk about this developing story. Vance Joseph, former DC for the Arizona Cardinals, reported by Josina Anderson, will be interviewing for not only the Eagles but also the Denver Broncos. Um, just looking at this DC candidate from a bird's eye view, because I don't really know him, I do know that he blitzed the second most in the NFL. The first most blitzing team was the New York Giants under Wink Martindale. Vance Joseph, forget what type of scheme he likes to run right yet, because I got to dive into that before I say, let's do it or let's interview some other candidates. He is going to be aggressive. My whole philosophy is this: if you lose playing passive and you lose playing aggressive, the bottom line is you lost. But I'll probably feel better and I will feel like we tried harder. I feel like we did everything possible to win and just lost if you follow suit and be aggressive. I've always been more for the aggressive style, more for man, more for blitzes. You got to throw in some coverage. You got to throw in some zone. You cannot play in the NFL in one package of one formation, one package, one style. You have to mix it up. But if you tell me I'm going to be leaning more towards this, I'm always going to say mano y mano, especially if you got dogs that you believe in, which I thought we had this year. And I'm always going to want to be aggressive. I'm always going to want to fluster the quarterback and say, hey, you got to be truly skilled to beat us, or at least be willing to stay in the pocket and take that hit. And who knows what can happen from that. Second guessing, this, that, and the third. I understand the great quarterbacks. You blitz constantly or you don't disguise it right. They can read it pre-snap and go bang, bang, boom, check, check, check. I understand that. But it's a good blend of mixture, and I think that he is very aggressive. I do want to see what type of schemes he runs um, more often than not. I'll get into that. But this is a guy who is now interviewing for the DC spot, both in Philly and in Denver. We will see where things end up. Lastly, I just dropped a video about an hour or two ago. It wasn't me talking, just Howie Roseman. They asked him a couple questions about Jalen Hurts' contract. He says he knows what it takes to get it done. He understands it. They asked him, wouldn't you want to get Jalen Hurts done quick so you know what you got left and spending money to go ahead and fix this roster or complete this roster or re-sign some guys back? He said yes, but we're not going to jump into things. I think both parties are going to get it done. I think we know the initial number. I think Hurts is going to put stuff in the contract that definitely helps us out. I'm not talking team friendly and some, he's not the top 5 paid quarterback in the NFL. That's going to take care of itself. I think that there's going to be stipulations, maybe how long the contract is, how much money guaranteed up front, this, that, and the third. But I do believe in the, conversation behind the scenes between Howie Roseman and one Jalen Hurts. But again, DC, Vance Joseph, let me know your comments. I know Lovie Smith has been thrown out there. I know Rex Ryan. Rex Ryan is coming out to interview for the Denver Broncos as well. Again, some people are not good head coaches. Rex Ryan not a good head coach. Just like Dan Quinn wasn't a good head coach. It's like Lovie Smith has never been a real good head coach. But you put him back at coordinator like Dan Quinn is doing for the Cowboys, and he's pretty darn good. Same with a Lovie Smith. Same with a Rex Ryan. And this guy, the first thing that jumps out is he's going to be more aggressive than not. Who is going to be our defensive players, though? Because when you look at free agents that the Eagles got to re-sign, the majority of them are on defense. AJ, Devontae, Quez will be back. Goddard will be back. The majority of the O line will be back. Running backs in our group, if not, yeah, at least Kenny and Scott most likely will be back. Miles, I'm not sure. And you look on the defensive side. What are we doing with Bradbury, TJ Garner Johnson, Kaiser White, Marcus Epps, TJ Edwards, Fletcher Cox, Javon Hargrave? That is who we need to know. And so you want to get your DC in here to see who he thinks is going to fit his scheme the best. Or we got to keep this guy. We got to get this guy. I'm not sure. I don't think we need this guy no more. And also for the combine, because guess what? It's in the middle of February. We're going to do a lot of breakdowns on certain draftees. Always comment your favorite draft prospects on certain videos. I take a look at these guys behind closed doors, and then we talk about it throughout the month of March and April. We have a lot of draft content coming up. Live mock drafts where you guys pick all that good stuff. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section as it pertains to everything we talked about. The NFL changing rules. Gannon said, "Oh, now I know how to win." And last but not least, Vance Joseph. Help your boy out by hitting that like button. It's free, it's easy, it don't cost a thing. And if you were a part of the virtual tailgate, drop the muscle emoji. And what we're going to do, I'm working with a partnership with the Jam Sports app. What we're going to do is once a week, it's going to be Saturday at some time. I don't know if it's going to be 7, 8, or 9. 7, 8, or 9. I'm not sure. But every Saturday night, we're going to do a virtual stream on YouTube and Jan. After a month, we're going to leave YouTube alone and only be on the Jan app. So you're going to have to download it, follow it, and have, my notifications pressed on, because that is going to be like round table galore. As you've seen on the Jan app, we can have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 different people on the panel chilling, talking about the Eagles. When we do the Jan stream apps, we're all equals. We all just guys and gals talking about our birds, seeing what offseason moves, players, coaches, this, that, and the third we can make, draft picks, draftees, all that stuff. Stay tuned for the Jan stuff. I'll give you the link for that in a little bit. The link in the description will be there for the chalkboard app. We still got about 600 people. I didn't forget about the give away. That's coming. Stay tuned. Until next time, you know what time it is. We out.